All right, let's talk about a condition that's powerful and deeply misunderstood.
Picture this, you're at dinner and suddenly you hear this.
To most people, it's just background noise. To you, it feels like an assault.
Instantly, your body floods with adrenaline. You tense up. You feel this blinding rage.
You have this sudden, violent urge to just scream or run away, right now.
Well, there's a name for this experience. It's called misophonia.
But honestly, that name is actually pretty misleading. See, it's not really hating a sound. It's a physical, involuntary reflex. Think about it like this. Annoyance is a thought. Misophonia is a reflex. It's an autonomic response, meaning you literally have no choice in the matter.
Basically, your brain has flagged a totally harmless sound as a major threat.
It's like your brainstem pulls a fire alarm before your conscious mind even knows what's happening.
And let's be really clear here. You are not just being difficult.
To your body, a bag of chips can trigger the exact same panic as a predator.
It's why people with misophonia feel like they're trapped in a biological cage. So, what is it? A real, miswired threat response. What it isn't? A choice.
For some people, a simple sound can feel deeply personal, triggering a huge emotional reaction.
It's not just about being oversensitive. The answer is literally in the brain's physical wiring.
Meet the main player here, the anterior insular cortex, or AIC for short.
Its job? It's basically the bouncer for your brain, deciding what gets your attention.
But here's where it gets really interesting. That filter works very differently depending on the brain.
And this shows it perfectly. One sound, but two totally different paths in the brain.
So in a misophonic brain, the AIC does something totally different with that trigger sound.
Instead of just filtering it, it actually cranks up the volume on its importance.
Basically, the AI slaps a huge emotional danger flag on a totally neutral sound.
The message it sends is urgent. This is personal, and it's happening directly to you.
This all points to a really crucial distinction about what's actually going on here.
You can think of it like this. It's a hardware problem, not a software bug.
Imagine the insulation on the brain's wires is just, well, a little too thin.
So that sound signal, it bleeds right from the hearing part over to the emotion part.
And what's wild is that it completely bypasses the brain's logic center. There's no filter. So you're literally hardwired to feel that sound as a powerful, raw emotion.
So, what's the deal with the chewing? The triggers are super specific, usually from the mouth or face.
And that's the big question, right? This specificity, it's the first clue in a neurological mystery. Turns out, the answer starts with something we all have. They're called mirror neurons.
These neurons are so important. They're how we learn, how we imitate, even how we feel empathy.
So your brain is simulating that action, creating a shared experience without you moving a muscle.
Okay, but in misophonia, this system has a really specific crossed wire. Something's gone wrong.
So the hearing part of the brain is abnormally connected to the part that controls your face.
And this shows the difference. For one person, it's just a sound. For the other, it's way more. Yeah, your brain isn't just listening, it's actually simulating the motion, as if you're doing it.
And this leads to something called hypermirroring. It's an absolutely unbearable sensation for that person.
Because you're not actually chewing, this simulation feels like a physical invasion. Like an intruder.
I mean, researchers call it what it is, a neurological violation. That really says it all. It's like someone else has hijacked your motor system, forcing your brain to participate.
So that rage, it's just a defense mechanism. Your brain is trying to take back control.
This quote really nails it. See, your biology might load the gun, but it's your history that pulls the trigger.
And here's the first big clue. It's not actually about the sound. It's all about who is making it.
Think about it. This thing almost never starts with a stranger. It pretty much always begins with family. And get this, it usually kicks in right around this specific age, between 8 and 12 years old. So, what's the scene of the crime? For most people, it's the family dinner table.
So how does this actually happen? It's a classic case of Pavlovian conditioning.
Because for a kid, that dinner table can feel less like a meal and more like a trap.
I mean, think about the rules, right? You can't leave, you have to sit still, you can't fight or run.
So here's the cycle. You're trapped, a parent makes a sound, you can't escape, and your brain forges a link.
And this happens again and again, over thousands of meals. That connection just gets stronger and stronger.
So what's the connection the brain is really making here?
This is the secret. That sound becomes a symbol for one thing: losing your autonomy.
So the sound isn't the real threat.
The real threat is that feeling of being controlled. But that still leaves one question, right? Why is the rage so specific to the people you love?
Because they're the ones who, trapped you the most often. It all goes back to the beginning.
It's why a stranger chewing gum is just kind of annoying, but your dad doing it? That's enraging. So the real wound here is that feeling of being held captive by an intimacy you just can't escape. Picture this. You're back in our evolutionary past. It's a quiet, dangerous night.
Your survival, it all came down to hearing the smallest, most subtle sounds.
This very question actually leads us to a puzzle we still see today.
For some people, everyday noises can feel like a full-on attack.
It's been called a constant, even painful sensory overload.
Yeah, it can seriously strain relationships and cause a lot of anxiety.
So the big question is, why would a trait this difficult even stick around?
Well, what if it's not a defect at all? What if it's a hidden strength?
This theory is called sentinel intelligence, and it's pretty compelling.
Think of the sentinel as the tribe's living, breathing early warning system.
And that person's supersensitivity? It was a literal lifesaver for the whole group.
Okay, so here's where it gets really interesting. It's all in the brain's wiring. It's called a high-gating brain. Basically, the filters are always open. It hears everything.
So you've got this incredible super sense that's just totally mismatched for our modern world.
It's like an alarm system that's just always on, constantly scanning for threats.
And this really shows you the core conflict, the central mismatch, right?
The ancient threat is long gone, but that internal alarm is still blaring.
This completely reframes the whole thing, doesn't it? What if it's an ancient superpower?
So you have to wonder, is it a defect or is it a strength, just born in the wrong time?